Right now on the line, we got multi-time Lucas Oil Sportsman Cup Series champion and full-time APC United Late Model Series championship contender Shawn McGlynn on the line. And if you were on social media at all this weekend, you saw the images of Shawn McGlynn getting up into the wall of Flamborough Speedway. Bit of a miscue in practice. The good news is that he is all right. Shawn, thank you so much for the time, my man. What happened at Flamborough in practice on Saturday afternoon?
Hi, Spencer. We had a thermostat housing pop apart, and I was on the way into the corner and blew water on the tires, and there was no more steering and no braking. It was full speed into the wall.
So will this at all impact your ability to chase a championship at the APC Tour in 2016?
I don't think so. We got some damage on the car, but they're all fixable, and we got a good team, a good crew. They always are up for the challenge. So we'll have the car back better, and I'm sure it'll be as good as it was.
I mean, you still have almost a month before round number one at Sunset. So if it's going to happen, better it happens a month out as opposed to a week out or the afternoon of, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's a new car for us, and the radiator had a threaded hose on it for the upper hose, so we didn't have a thermostat housing like that. So we went and bought one, and it was a swivel one. It was a brand new part and just failed from new. So we'll just make sure that the next one's a good part, and we won't have that problem again. So yeah, I don't think it's going to affect our season. We'll have time to get dialed in again. And this new car we got's working a lot better. It's a McCall car, and it's a real good chassis. So we'll be in good shape.
Now, if this thing can qualify half as good as your car last year qualified, I think everybody else is going to be in some trouble because, I mean, you turned out to be a time trial whiz, dude. You were at the front of the field a lot last season. I mean, I feel as though that's your edge. I mean, everybody else, a lot of these guys were raised on heat races, and they haven't quite been able to make that transition over to single-car qualifying, but you have got it down to a science.
Well, it didn't come easy. I did a lot of years of time trials where I'd blow the lap and drive in too hard, or try and take it easy, not to blow the lap, and then just go too slow. But I've been racing or doing time trials since like '91, since I started CASCAR. So I've got a lot of experience with it. So over the years, you eventually get comfortable with it. And now I just treat it like a practice lap, and it usually ends up going pretty good.
It was so interesting to follow the tour last year and see how guys that were accustomed to running 25 or 35 lap features at their local tracks and how they sort of had to jump onto a moving train in terms of how to plot out a complete 100 lap race. Whereas guys that have done late model touring in the past or guys like yourself with the Lucas Oil Sportsman Cup sort of already had that in the back of their minds. I mean, was it interesting for you to see a lot of the Saturday night guys trying real hard to make that transition over?
Well, you'll hear a lot of people say that the going hard at the beginning is you're going to burn your tires up, but I've got tires with 300 laps on. These are a tire that don't really fall off much, and once they do fall off, they stay pretty consistent, and you're really not abusing your tires unless you're spinning them. So the guys that had to rush to the front in their 25 lap features on Saturday nights, if they're pushing it early, and everyone else is too. So I mean, you got to go hard from the beginning or you get run over. So it's pretty much a thing where unless your car is a tenth or two quicker than everybody else, you're not going to be able to sit back and wait to the end. You got to go hard.
It felt like last year, at least for the first half of the season, the most dangerous place to be was in the middle of the field. The guys that were hanging back were the ones that were getting caught up in all the craziness. For a lot of races, it felt like the top three was the safest place to be.
Yeah, I think it is, and that comes from some of the guys not having enough experience with the time trials. So their cars are super fast, but they don't start at the front. So once the race goes, the green flag drops, they start being able to make some headway, and the guys in front of them are holding them up. So the time trial doesn't really indicate who the fast cars are. So that's probably what part of the problem is.
Do you feel as though that narrative might change a little bit this season now that guys have a little bit more experience, they can qualify a little bit better, they understand, how fast you can get caught up in some craziness out there? Do you just feel though that the general ebb and flow of these races is going to be different than what we had last year?
Yeah, I'd agree with that. It seemed like at the end of the season the guys are starting to all, like there wasn't I don't know, they're just more comfortable or something. The track was a safer place to be at the end of the season. So yeah, I think you're right. It's coming to everybody.
Now, this outfit that you guys have, this team that's chasing the championship of the APC Tour, was it a brand new team, a brand new partnership in 2015?
For me with them, yeah, but they had run a couple of years with a couple different drivers. They had Mel Preeb driving a car, and they started off just getting into it to have some fun. They were a bunch of fishing buddies out on the boat talking about getting a car together, and they decided to get one going, and they got an old chassis that Mel had and put it together and went and raced up at Sauble and did that, I think, for a year or two, and then Mel didn't want to race anymore, so they put in Jake the Juice Box for a year, and maybe a year or two, I'm not sure. And then I ended up in the car. So, yeah, it's a new team for me, but, yeah, we gelled really well, and they're pretty easygoing guys, and they're hard workers, and they're learning a lot, and they really enjoy it. So we have a good time. We camp and, have a good barbecue and good race times, and it's good. We're making good memories.
So how did you enter the fold? Did you meet them through the Lucas Oil Sportsman Cup racing?
Yeah, actually, one of the crew guys suggested that they get me to drive the car, and we talked, and then I drove it for one race at the end of the season 2 years ago, and they were pleased with my results, and I guess, and from then on we put a partnership together, and we've been going strong.
So is this team sort of relegated only to running APC events, or is there a chance we see you out in the weekly wars at Flamerau as well this year?
We're concentrating on the APC thing, and I have a car that I might run some Saturday night stuff, like maybe some Drysdale 50s or whatever they got going on this year. But yeah, for now we're concentrating on the APC thing.
Now, you're a pretty well-traveled guy. I've seen you down in New Smyrna. I've seen you out at Airborne Speedway in an ACT-style car. Is there a chance we could see you do or return to doing more racing south of the border once the dollar rebounds, let's say, like once it's a little bit more economically feasible to go down there?
Well, I'm sort of new to the bump stop thing, and I didn't have any success when I did that traveling because I was kind of outclassed. The guys knew more about what they were doing than I did, so I need to get a little more, get my feet planted really good in this class, and if we can have some success in the APC series, then we'll go and start chasing races other places in the country or in south of the border.
The APC series really seems to be all the rave in Ontario. It's what everybody is talking about. So it's where everyone's either there or they're trying to get there, and they're trying to get their hands on a good pro late model to go out on tour with so much talent. Who are a couple of guys that you have your eye on that you'll need to keep in your rearview mirror this season?
I would say Parker's one, and there's so many of them. Like I'd say there's 10 guys that are going to be fighting like tooth and nail for wins. So, I don't know. Just look at the wins that the guys had last year, Shaw and Chenoweth and Gressel, and I think Pritico's strong, and Box is good. And, I mean, there's so many of them. Like, I'm missing guys here, but like Marvin Freiberger's got a fast car. Like, I don't know. There's lots of good cars out there. So, you win a race here, or it's not going to be a cakewalk.
It really feels like a who's who of late model racers. It's like autumn colors every single week. Every event that you go to, it feels like a large scale invitational.
Yeah, it's exciting to watch. That's for sure. It's exciting to be a part of.
Without question. I mean, there's just an energy around it that you don't get at a normal late model show. And I know that it's not cheap to follow the tour. It's not possible to do it without a lot of support. It's awesome that you found this new team, that you found these fishing buddies that want to be a part of the big show. Go ahead and thank those sponsors that are going to keep you in action this year. Yeah,
Meineke Car Care. That's the one that's footing the bill. So I got to thank Dave and Crystal Wood. So them and the crew, they're the ones that are making this happen.
Well, I just wanted to check in with you, buddy. I saw the photos on the internet. I saw the incident that you had in practice. I'm happy to hear that you're all right. I'm happy to hear that the car's all right, and that you'll be ready to roll for round number 1, May 14th at sunset.
Yeah, we'll be good to go. We got the old car still, which I don't want to run, but we'll have the new one ready.
That's the second bullet in the chamber, right?
Yeah, you got her.
I appreciate the time, my man. Thank you so much, and all the best in 2016.
Okay, thanks, Spencer.
There you have, folks. Shawn McGlynn ready to chase that championship with the APC United Late Model Series in 2016.